Hey everyone! What I love about social media is how it brings together people from all over the world in all different walks of life. I absolutely love getting to know you through your comments and messages. I recently received one from someone outside of the U.S. who asked me to explain more about my thought process when creating a story for CBS News Channel 5. So in this Day in the Life video, I'm walking you through one of my more sensitive stories. I received this packet from my news director. It's about 40 pages. It was delivered by a grandfather in our community who shared his 10-year-old grandson's story of being persistently bullied at school to the point where his wrist was broken. I knew this would be difficult. Every story has two sides, and a good reporter has to be impartial and let each side explain their actions. After reading through the packet, I knew one of my major challenges would be cutting the story down to less than 2 minutes, which is the typical time for a news feature. I spoke with my news director and explained the importance and also the complexity of this story. And fortunately, he gave me an extra minute of on-air time. The next challenge was conducting the interviews. Bullying is a very sensitive topic, particularly when it involves school children. The victims and their families are typically afraid to come forward for fear of retaliation. In this case, the 10-year-old grandson agreed to talk on camera. It was clear to me that his decision took tremendous courage. What convinced him to talk was his desire to protect others from facing what he had endured. After speaking with the boy, I knew that I needed to give this story the time it deserved and really put it together carefully. But in news, time is one of our scarcest commodities. Honestly, I barely got it done in time for it to go to show. The morning after it aired, I awoke to a cascade of emails and comments. The boy's struggles with bullying really struck a chord. Other parents shared their stories, and some people explained what schools can do to help. I greatly appreciate the time and thought that everyone put into this serious topic. Here's my finished story. Some students say they're afraid to leave their family car and enter school.
Every time I went to school, it's like everybody just stared at me.
Lane Flores is only 10 years old. He says that at Hebert Elementary, he has faced a lot of bullying, and that one day in PE, it even became physical.
I was running from one of the kids that were bullying me. He chased me down, and then he full on grabbed me and then pushed me up against the wall, and then I fell down.
This boy says that the impact was hard enough to break his wrist, but he tells me that his wrist wasn't all that hurt.
It felt heartbreaking and that I wasn't worth anything to the world.
The day Flores's wrist broke was the last day that his mother said she ever took him to school.
He'd started making comments that he'd rather die than be at school.
According to the family, they reached out for help, telling the principal that if the bullying continued, one of two outcomes would occur.
He's had depression, he's had self-harm thoughts. That you keep the bullying going, it's only going to get worse. It's going to end up one of two ways. You know, he's going to either take his own life or he's going to take somebody else's.
The boy's mother said she was very disappointed by the response.
You go through a broken road, and I think that's a lot of what Hebert is broken people. It almost seems like it's just kind of pushed to the wayside, like it's not worth the students that are in that school anymore.
To get both sides of the story, I spoke with the violence prevention facilitator for Laramie County School District 1.
So if we find that the bullying did occur, there's a couple of steps we do. First and foremost is making sure that their child is safe.
Then the facilitator says the district works with the bully.
Make sure that the other student receives discipline for what they've done, but also get them help to remediate the behaviors that they've chosen to participate in.
According to Flores's family, they don't feel like their son stayed safe or that the bullies received discipline.
There's no way to get any kind of help.
While the facilitator says helping is what the district wants to do.
You want to go in, you want to help them, you want to make things better.
Going forward, our family is hoping that people wake up and aren't afraid to stand up and knock on the school district's door and say, hey, your program's not working, your people aren't supporting the program, or whatever may be happening, is we want to see more support and more of our children protected in some manner.
If your children say they are being bullied at school, this family urges you to speak out. In Cheyenne, Katherine Chloe Cahoon, CBS News Channel 5.